I don't know what version this is, but we're back on it again. This is our jig based on a previous suspension that we made, that we mocked up a 2014 Mustang. We did the front end and we didn't like the way the car is sitting. It was sitting like 3 inches above ride height that it's supposed to be, which is in old standards was right, which is 8 inches, but it didn't work out as I wanted it and the engine didn't fit. So we did the front end to mock up 2014 Mustang front suspension. Check out the video, you'll see it's pretty cool. Everything looks like 2014 front Mustang in there. Now in the rear, we mocked the 2014 Mustang suspension as well. However, we made it a 3 inches higher just because we didn't want to do much cutting and we want to keep as much as possible and we want to be able to tuck it in under the body and not cut the body. But you know, it's not gonna look good if we just do it like that way. So we are cutting everything that we did to start over again. So in the last video we made a jig and now we are back on it again. We need to cut everything off, tuck everything up 3 inches. We have to get rid of everything over here, get rid of everything over there. We need to do a C channel, better looking than this. This is just a mock-up, so something like that. We want to be able to fit a springs under there, and these are the shock mounts, which is also capped off the body, so we wanted to slid next to the body, but they're really supposed to be over here about like an inch. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna chop, and I think I want to put everything in one video so that way, because we already did it multiple times on this channel. First time, but second time we're just gonna do it on all one video like we did it. The front end might take a little bit longer, but we are gonna get it done. So let's get to chopping, let's get to designing, and let's get it fixed up. Boom! Kaboom! I cut out a few things. I just have to finish trimming up where the new beam is gonna sit, and it's gonna get closer to a frame rail, which is kind of cool. And we're gonna kind of modify this in the back too, because we don't need it that much. The front end is what's needed. And here is the cut piece. I'm glad I cut it off because this is actually a lot of weight and it's gonna bring the car down. Plus, I get to design my new, better looking, slimmer brackets that's gonna hold a control arm. Get rid of this. This is never gonna be here. We're gonna tie it up somehow into a drive shaft hoop. So now we're just gonna have to plasma cut these, get a new beam, put it back in there, and then we're gonna jump on the next step, which is going to be upper control arm. So we gotta modify this whole area. Here is the first test version. I did a terrible job, so I'm gonna try it one more time, and then if that doesn't work, I'll go back to the grinder. Alright, second one actually worked out, which gives me some space to trim around, which is not bad. Perfect. So let me cut out 3 more. Alright, they're all trimmed up, and I pre-drilled the outer one So this is how they're gonna be right now. Here is the passenger side, so they're gonna be at 7 degrees. So we're gonna do the outer one, tack it in, and we're gonna do the middle one. We're gonna drill the middle one after we tack the outer one in. So it's gonna stay like that. Compare old to the new. So I'm gonna tack all these right now, but it is way better than the old design. Alright, lower control arm brackets have been made. I cleaned up this one so you get to see how it actually is gonna look when it's done. The bottom's gonna stay open. There's no need extra weight, so this is actually pretty good, pretty solid. So it's gonna slide in here. I trimmed up these pieces as well, so this is where the 2x3 is gonna stay. I opened up the front so we can weld it from inside, because I'm gonna have a hard time reaching because of the A-arm bracket staying here. And we are going to be tackling the center control arm. That's where that one goes. So we're going to be chopping this off, chopping this, and kind of playing with this one here too, because the screw has to go up 3 inches. And then we are going to be tackling this bad boy. We're going to see how we're going to bring up the spring and move the shock towers and everything else. Yeah, it's pretty good looking so far. So let's get to cutting. That was a lot of chopping. Here is how this thing looks. It lines up to my old marks over here. And same thing over here. It marks there as well, lines everything up. This later will be trimmed, that'll be trimmed so it won't be sticking out. This won't be here. This piece is cut off, and I just love the way the things are looking up. I'm actually going to be cutting in a section over here, and I'm going to put like either a square tubing here. I'm going to build the bracket off of that so we can put a screw in, and this rail is going to be the main rail, so I don't need anything more. I still have to clean it up a little bit, and then we are going to come back over here on these things, which should come pretty easy. I did chop a lot of things off. Same thing with this, so that way my jig can fit, because the shocks are going to be up here 3 inches higher and they have to be a little bit more in. Perfect. So let's just keep going. I think I'm gonna end this video right here so that way we can come back and finish everything in a second video. Appreciate you guys watching. Make sure you check out for a new video. We're gonna doing a C channel and finally shock placement, and we're just gonna be painting it hopefully.